Welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK, WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks as always for making your way here, checking out the series. Of course, you know what to do if you like what you see, what you hear. Hit that subscribe button. I put out 3 new interviews every single week, so it's a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists. And I am so excited today. Omar J. Dorsey is here. We're going to be talking about Bookie on Max. Hello.
How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. Enjoyed watching you through the years, but there's something big about Bookie. I just want to get this out of the way. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, of course, because that's all that was released right away. And this is the funniest show that I have seen in a very long time.
Oh,
Laughed out loud.
Kyle, thank you, brother, man.
We're already like trying to quote it around the house,
Oh,
like the
wow, yeah.
lines are making it out. First, let me just throw that out there. Congratulations to you. This is
Thank,
something special.
thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. You know what's crazy? My mom is in Atlanta. I woke up probably about 6 o'clock this morning, and she called. She said, "Yeah, I watched Bookie twice already. I watched both episodes twice." I was like, "Mom, it is 6 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. What are you talking about?" She said, "It's so funny." So I was like, "All right, I got the mom stamp of approval. I mean, now I got the Kyle stamp of approval. I feel great, man."
It's one of those shows too. Like there's going to be multiple viewings, and there's a lot of stuff out there right now, so you don't have time to go back a lot of the time. But those special
Right.
ones, you want to. We've
Oh,
all
man.
got those.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. I hope everybody feels the same way, man. It's like when I got, the opportunity to get the role, I said, Chuck Lorre, man, I haven't done comedy since like what, Eastbound and Down, and that was like 12 years ago. So it just blew my mind. But it's so much fun working with that guy and working with Sebastian and Nick Piquet, man. Those people are very funny human beings.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to know how to happen because again, Chuck Lorre, we're talking about one of the greatest of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Man loves his duos. He
he
loves
does. Yeah,
putting the duos together and everything.
yeah.
I mean, how did it work out? Because as you're saying, it's not like you were coming off of comedy or anything like that. Like, so how was it you that ended up here?
You know what's crazy? It's like I auditioned for it, right? And this honestly, I really haven't had to audition in a long time, right? And I said, when I read the material, I said, man, this is really, really, this is good and it's funny and it's great dialogue and it's like a 2-man piece. It's like the Odd Couple. And so, when I went in and had a screen test with Sebastian, man, we were clicking on all cylinders. It was amazing. It's like I had known Sebastian for years. And everybody was back there laughing and just falling out. And I was like, I remember I was flying back to Atlanta, and I told my manager, I said, I think I got a good feeling about this. And before I landed, he called me and said, "Yeah, you got the role." So I said, "Perfect."
Wow.
Yeah,
Sometimes it just lines up like that.
it does, man. Sometimes this is the perfect character, the perfect role,
Yeah.
for you sometimes. And that's what I feel like this was. That's what I feel Rayfield is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's interesting, that you clicked with him because I had wondered about that. Like, you all work so naturally on screen together, like, wondering if you had to do anything special to find that rapport. Some people go off together and, they do a little hang time or whatever. And
Well,
maybe you all did that anyway. Was that
well,
there?
no, because no, the thing about it is that we have mutual friends. So I've been around them before, but I think it was more than anything. I think before we did the for the first day of shooting, I think we got together one time, hung out. But it was really on set. And he's a professional like I am. I love running lines. So we'll have our lines for the day, we'll know them or whatever, but then we'll start doing lines for tomorrow. And we were doing that every single day. And I love doing it. A lot of actors are like, man, let's just get to it when we get to it. But no, we have the same work ethic. So it really clicked well. And I remember the first week of shooting, he was like, I'm new to this, man. I appreciate your professionalism. I said, I just appreciate somebody who wants to run lines. I like running lines ad nauseum because I wanted to sound natural. I wanted just to trip off the tongue and not sound like I'm reaching for my words. And, but yeah, that's how we got tight. And then we hang together tight now, we talk to each other like almost every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, just from the beginning, it was just the mutual work ethic that brought us together like that.
Now, is it all on the page? Is there room for a little wiggle room? Because again, the lines are so good on this. And I'm
Right.
wondering, like, is that off the cuff or was that all there?
You know, some most 95%, maybe 98% of it is there. You know, now Chuck will give you leeway to say it the way that you want to say it. Because I was like, Chuck, come on now, a 40-something-year-old black dude. He ain't gonna, let me just get a little flair on it. He's a 40-something-year-old Italian dude from Chicago. Let him put a little bit of that on there. So, but Chuck writes so well that you really, it's on the page. I might throw a little something in there, and sometimes he'll keep it. Sometimes he's like, nah, let's just keep us on the page. But no, but Chuck he's really collaborative that way, and I appreciate it because he is the king of television comedy. Is him and Norman Lear,
Exactly
are
what
the
I
best
said.
of
Yeah.
all time.
Yeah.
And so, like, for him to be able to give you some leeway on it, then I really appreciate it. I saw when Charlie Sheen came in, he was doing a little something. I say, well, they've had this report. They had a report for years. So, if I guess he gave Charlie just a little bit of wiggle room there. Charlie would run it by him like, "Yo, can I say this?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can say that. That's cool." But yeah, that's what it is. It's he is collaborative like that. But he's such a great writer. We really don't have much to put in there.
Now, of course, this is his first role, I think, in 6 years. Of course, I have to ask what it's like working, across from him.
Man, it was surreal, right? It's like I'm working in a comedy that Chuck Lorre is writing and created with Charlie Sheen. And you just working with him, and it's like you step back when you're not trying to be in the moment. You step back, you're like, man, this is Charlie Sheen right now, and he was bringing it. I'm not saying he was bringing it. He was so dang funny, and it felt like it was a dream. And I remember sharing with him, I was like, I worked with your dad in Selma, and I was like, your dad was like one of the greatest actors I've ever worked with. And we just had a great rapport on that, just talking about his father and how amazing his father is, and just how much of a legend. And then saying you're a legend too, Charlie. So no, he was just great to work with. I'm glad I didn't know we did a couple of episodes with him, man. And he's just so generous. He's a generous actor too.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
again, just seeing all of you all play off each other. Again, every beat is perfect. Like, I don't know if you have, again, hearing how you run the lines as much as you do, maybe you work out all those kinks and everything. But, as I'm watching this, it's like, how did they deliver half of this with a straight face? Yeah.
You don't, man. Sebastian is so funny, right? And a lot of the guest stars, they are so hilarious that it takes, what? I might ruin the take. Chuck Lorre ruins takes because Chuck is back there dying, laughing. And we're like, man, this has to be in the audio somewhere. And he's just, ha! So it's like, oh, man. But no, it's like a lot of the people who come in, like a lot of them you'll see, they come in and they are hilarious. And it takes, even with the lady who plays my grandma, she is so funny. It is hard to listen to her without like cracking a smile or something. That's why I like it when they do her coverage first to get all those jokes off, so I can be back there smiling. So when it's on my coverage, I'm sort of used to it. But no, she's a lot of the guest stars, and just like everybody, man. Like Vanessa, Jorge is back there just throwing 100 miles an hour at all times. Andrea, and even the kid Max, man, he's like they're hilarious. And you gotta just swallow it. You gotta stay in the moment. I mean, as soon as they say cut, you just laugh.
So,
And sometimes I tell you what, a lot of times I try my best to make Vanessa and Andrea laugh. I try to.
oh, really?
I do. I like because they're like giggle bears, and so I try my best to make them laugh. And it's like a little game with us.
Just the challenge to see if you can ruin the take. That's
See
the
if I can ruin the take. See if I can ruin two amazing professional actors.
well done. Well, I was gonna say, so for everyone catching up, and I'll do some explaining at the beginning of this too, but why bookies? Why are we looking at these two guys? Why are they bookies?
We're living in a world now that like a lot of jobs are starting to not become obsolete, but are starting to dwindle out, right? We just came out of a writer's strike and an actor strike. because we are both actors and writers are nervous about AI, right? We're nervous about the future and what it is and all of this new media. This is a story almost about that. We're bookies, but you can turn on any television and you can see a commercial for your online bookie and for anything that you want to do. You can, a phone call or an app that you can just go and gamble on. So this is almost like the last days of a profession. And so it really hits me in the soul because, like I said, we just coming off of a strike that we're nervous about becoming obsolete, because of an app. So I think that really hits home, and it's been like that since the first, assembly line. Since Ford did the first assembly line, when you had people working with their hands and putting things together, you have an assembly line, and you have machines put it together. I think it really touches home to a lot of people. You talk about Lyft, you talk about Uber. These are taxi drivers, these are limo drivers who's had their professions taken away, or because it was a dying profession. So I think that's what it's going to hit home a little bit.
Yeah, and it is across the board. I mean, I still get my main paycheck from a radio station. It's like
Right.
how much longer am I going to get away with that?
Exactly. That's what I'm like. How much longer will they be paying people to do this when I'm quite sure the technology is coming out where if somebody wants to play, Richard III, they can do it themselves and put themselves in a movie with Denzel and Kenneth Branagh. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I feel like the fans might revolt. Like people were so behind you all during the
Right.
strike.
Right.
Like it seemed like the vast majority we were behind you. That I'm saying I hope
Yeah, I
that
hope.
people
Yeah.
wouldn't stand for it really if they heard like
Yeah.
that's not real.
Right, right. Yeah, I would think so. I would, but hey, everybody's trying to find a cheaper way to make product, so and then sometimes things become the new normal. And that's what we're fighting against, is about, that's what we're fighting against, things becoming a new normal and can just brush us out of the way. So yeah.
Right. Well, I would say, further on this profession, on the bookie and the way you all portray it in here. I mean, this is gambling. This is something that does ruin people's lives,
No doubt about it. Yeah.
and you all definitely lean into what's going on there, especially in the second episode with what's happened
Right.
in a very comedic way, of course, but like destroys lives. And I don't know, how do you see you all portraying that? Because it's right from the beginning, the very first scene, Ray Romano, like we
Yes.
see it. The guy is getting kicked out, and the first thing he does is pick up that phone.
Pick up the phone. That's an addiction, right? These are, we're digging into it. It's not that I don't feel like we're making light of it. I think we're shining a light. I think we're shining a light on it, and what I do like about it is that we're not knee busters. We're not going around hurting anybody. We're trying to collect our money, the best way we can. If somebody can't pay us, then, it's like, let's just write that off, whatever, but yeah, it's an addiction. Like I said, like, listen, man, I'm gamble with the best stuff, but I know when to stop. And I know when to lean back because my kids' college tuition needs to be paid, but some people don't, and so like, I always like the stories that shed light on many different things, right? That shed light on the things that we don't normally see. So yeah, why it might be characterized as a comedy, we're, busting each other's chops, but it's not really funny when we're going in there to collect money. And also and I think Vanessa has a line was like, it's something to the fact, like, he's like, well, the reason that we will survive is because the people know us, and when online they don't. She says something to the things like, because you're taking people's kids' college tuitions. And, so those lines are in there, and it does hit a little bit. But, shit, we got to make a living. It is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Your guy being the ex-professional football player,
Right.
who's a very forward thinker, and that's always
Right.
fun. When you talk about the odd couple sort of thing that you have going on there, does he like his life? Do you feel
I,
like?
I think what it is this is a last ditch effort. and he sees like, you know what, I can do this for a little, I can do this, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Not going to do this forever, maybe do it forever, I don't know, but there is that instant gratification that comes when you come in and you get that big wad of cash, and you see it there, and it's off the books too, so it's like, and he has a lot of bills. Like, when he was telling the guy in episode 2, when he was trying to talk the man off the ledge, he said, I owe a lot. Mm-hmm. So, he's like, what is he going to do? Work a 9 to 5? No, he can't do that. He can't play football. He has bad knees. He's old. So it's not like he can go back in the league and play anywhere. So, this is almost like, this is what he has in front of him. And he's going to try to do it to his best of his ability, but yeah, and I love Ray. I love playing the character Ray, and I love the man because he wants to take care of his people. He wants to take care of his grandmother. He wants to take care of his children and his baby mamas. So he's a good guy to me. He just happens to be in a really, really crappy job.
Right. Well, and again, just to see the positivity in him, but in the playfulness. We're talking about the heavy subjects and the playfulness that always happen again with talk about with you and Sebastian's character. The radio in itself, and what's going on. What I write down of what a fool believes, horse with no name, Pina Colada song, all just in the first episode right there.
Yacht rock.
Yacht rock.
100%. Yacht rock all day. What's messed up though, Kyle? These are my songs though. I love those songs. I'm like, man, come on, Michael McDonald, let's do it. Come on, I love it, man. What a fool believes, horse with no name. Mm-hmm. I love him, but yeah, I can see how my character would hate him. He wants to hear some, he was in the league. He wants to hear some turn up music, But yeah, I love that little play, that little that button of heads. It's like no, and who controls the radio at what time? That's just that, because our workplace is a car. You know how you in the office, it's like, well, who controls it? Or are you in a locker room? Who controls the radio? So it's like the workplace that we have is in a car, and our field is the streets of Los Angeles. So yeah.
I've seen even, not that it's been yacht rock, but I was looking some of your social media and some of the shows. What did I write down? Curtis Harding, I'm a big fan of. I saw you call him.
I'm going to tell him. You know what? He's coming out. He's staying in my house this week.
Seriously?
Yes, Curtis is staying in my house. He's supposed to be here right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Especially his last record. Yeah,
that is amazing, y'all. And I was in the video. Me and Anthony Mackie did his video. What song it was, but we're doing another video for his new album.
Oh, I love his music. And you saw Tony recently?
Yes, I did see Tony.
They were here next door, and I had to miss it.
Oh man, dude, they are amazing. That show is tremendous.
Yeah,
my wife and I, we went, man. With a couple of other friends, and we had a ball. Just reminiscing about my high school days and my college days. And, Raphael Sadiq is so dope that
Raphael Sadiq, man. His Stone Rollin' record is still probably one of my top 20 albums.
Man, you like that? You like that vintage soul, don't you, man?
Very much. Yeah, man. That's good stuff right there. So further on, you said something recently online. Pablo Picasso, and you said, I'm trying to be him.
Yes.
So now seeing what you've come from, what you've been doing, coming off Queen Sugar, and going to something like Bookie, what does this mean? If you don't mind going further down that, like, what did you mean by that?
You hit the nail on the head, right? Everywhere Picasso went in his life, he started a new movement. Whether it was in Barcelona, was in Paris, where no matter where he was the start of so many different movements. Picasso is my favorite artist of all time. Like, I'm not talking about just, visual artists. I mean, the man was 80 years old and started working with clay. Like at 80, he started working with clay. He never stopped learning. He never stopped pushing it forward. Same way, like with the Andre 3000 last album, with the flute album. I'm like, yes, make a flute album. Like, learn something new.
Yeah.
Even with Curtis, people don't know this. Curtis, when I first met Curtis 20-something years ago, he's a rapper with CeeLo. Now he's like one of the foremost one of the foremost soul artists, you know, of his generation. I always want to push it. I started out doing the comedies with Todd Phillips. Then I went doing a lot of the dramas with Ava and with all of Blindside and Django and all of these different things. I always want to change. I want to be versatile and be something different. Like even now doing the strike. Now I lost like 60 pounds, right? Because I was like, I'm gonna start lifting. I just want to be somebody different every time. I don't want to be pigeonholed and put into a box of like, this is what Omar does. Like in Queen Sugar, I was the lover, the great sensitive man, which was amazing because it broke me out of other boxes. But so when people tell me, you're always gonna be Hollywood, you're gonna be Hollywood for me the rest of my life, and I was like, all right, I'll change that. I'll change it. It's fine. I can be Hollywood, but I will change your perspective on what you think I am. I continuously want to grow, continuously want to redefine myself, and continuously want to just be the most versatile artist that I can possibly be. It would be very easy for me like when I did Ray Donovan, it would have been very easy for me to play a gangster for the rest of my life. And, I could have made millions and millions of dollars doing it. But that's not where I come from. I come from theater. I come from summer stock when you're doing 3 different plays in one summer. Well, I might be playing King Lear in one play, and I might be doing Oliver playing Bill Sykes, and I might be doing August Wilson show playing King Hedley. I want to always be changed. I want to challenge myself and just to see, push myself and see how good I can go. And that's what Picasso did, man. That's what I want to be. That is my role model, and that is what I see. That I think all artists should try to be that way. And we get sidetracked sometimes because we get the money, like we can stay in this for 10, 20 years. But no, it's so much fun to being diverse with it.
Yeah. Well, I love that. And what's awesome is you're already that. You're already accomplishing that. Like you're already proving that. Doesn't have to be sure, it's a goal, but that's just compliments that I'm throwing your way because we can already
appreciate it, Kyle.
Happening. Yeah.
I tell you, it's when I was doing Raising Kanan a couple of years ago, young actors were coming who weren't even working. They were coming to set just to watch me. And I was like, well, why y'all here? He said, we're here to watch you, man. You're like the guy to us. And it blew my head. I didn't really realize that because I don't hang around a bunch of young people. And I said, really? They're like, no, you are the guy, like the character actor who everybody like respects. It's like, wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I want to be. That's what I'm trying. I don't want that. That's what I work toward. Yeah.
I love watching you. I love seeing this show. But by the way, and I should have complimented you at the beginning. Congratulations. You got married recently too. So married to all this happening all at once.
Yes, man. It's beautiful, man. I got married to Crystal Roberson, tremendous director. She works her butt off too, man. Yeah, she's a great artist, great woman, just a tremendous spirit. I'm lucky. I never met anybody who worked as hard as I did, but my God, that woman works hard. And one good thing to come out of the strike is that we had 5 months together, just she and I, and man, we built so much and our relationship got so strong. And it was the 5 months right before the wedding. And then when we got married, like 3 or 4 days later, the strike was over. So, I was like, man, this is what was needed for us. I know, it's really rough times, but we needed that time together.
Yeah, I love hearing that. And seriously, I love the way it's lined up with the success. But I can't wait to see the rest of the season. I was so when the second episode was done, I was like, no, I need more.
Right.
Give it
right. More. Yeah.
So congrats, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm gonna tell Sebastian. I'm gonna tell Curtis, man, that you're a fan, man. That's my dude, man. I love that's my brother, man. We travel the world together too. We travel everywhere in the world together.
Yeah, please do over here. So I'm gonna the other side of my work here. It's a station in Louisville, and we play "Need Your Love" and all of that all the time. Yeah. So we love them over here. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the video I did was "Need Your Love."
Oh yeah, I haven't seen the video yet.
Me and Anthony Mackie were like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. You got to watch the video.
Right on, man. Well, thanks. So nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too, man. Just do it again. All right.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.